When it comes to piano, one of the first questions is, how do I learn? Where do I go? And immediately after, you ask yourself, do I need piano lessons? Today, Ted and I are talking about all things piano lessons, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Stick around.
Hi, this is Ted with Alamo Music Center in downtown San Antonio, Texas.
I'm Patrick Marr. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We appreciate your support and we love to interact with you. Ted, piano lessons are, it's almost like a taboo subject.
It's a nightmare topic for a lot of people.
And you came up with, this great phrase that we were talking about earlier. We were talking about piano teachers, educators, taking piano lessons. But what was the phrase you came up with?
Piano coach.
I love that.
Because it makes it sound fun, exciting, like basketball camp or football camp or spring training. And it's something that everyone just knows is lighthearted and fun to do.
And it's informal.
And it informalizes the intimidating process of learning piano.
I mean, because, not only do you sit down and there's all these buttons in front of you, there's all these keys that you can press, but there's a whole, book in front of you.
Configuration of how to take this ink to that.
And it really can be a difficult process. And so a lot of times people try to tackle this subject with, how do I learn piano? I want these keys to move and sound good, and I want to be able to play my favorite things. So what is the best process? And today, we're going to talk about piano lessons.
I'm a firm believer that everything that anyone has ever learned has been self-taught, because I can sit next to you while you practice for 4 or 5 hours, but I can't force you to learn something if you're unwilling to learn it. And the main secret to piano lessons is you better get used to being bored and repeating the same thing until you get it perfect.
Well, I think when you think of the mentality of a coach, I think encouragement and finding motivation in your students is really important. And I think finding a teacher who's willing to do those things and to be patient and if there's not progress being made, sometimes it's not because your kid's not musical or because your kid doesn't like playing piano. Sometimes it's the wrong connection.
Well, a lot of times, and I had teachers that really were teachers. I'm going to teach you. I'm not going to coach you. You want to coach. That's like private tutorship. Okay? So teaching is, these are the rules, now you do it. Coaching is like, look, you already know the rules. We're going to do this 20 times. What does a coach say? Drop and give me what? 20. How many laps you got to run if you screw up the play? How many times? Go back and forth. What are those things we used to call like?
And the goal's always very clear too.
The goal's always clear. Put the ball in the hole, come home, touch the plate, put the ball across the line. It's real simple. In playing piano, start the song, finish the song, try to keep a steady pace. That's the end goal. Perform a song from beginning to end. As a result, most people know the first 12 measures of a 100 and something bar thing really, really well because they always start at the beginning. A coach will say, hey, why don't we start on the last page this time? Why don't we start in the middle? And why don't we just do this? See where you keep messing up right here. This is one little quarter of a beat in this measure. Let's do that 20 times.
It's the X's and O's of piano.
Check it off. It's kind of like get up and run, drop and rock. So repeat and get it. That's coaching.
So in today's world, there's a couple different options for piano lessons.
Oh, more so than ever.
There's, the private instructor, like the classic way of learning. Someone either sits next to you on your piano, or you go to their house, you go to their studio, and you have one-on-one time with a piano instructor, a teacher, an educator. Another form that's become popular is group lessons. And so piano classes, sometimes it's in universities or schools for piano majors, but it's, hey, everybody work as a team, and we're going to be playing the same things with headphones on, and I'm the teacher. I'm going to come around and make sure that everything is humming along, and the technology has really tied these things together and really tried to make it a more inclusive, everyone all together struggling to find their way. And then there's online lessons, which really have taken off during the COVID era, you see a lot of people learning. And I think it was even before that, but you see a lot of people learning from either private instructors or they pay some sort of subscription to access, different lessons and different theories on learning piano. And then I would say there's that self-taught watching YouTube videos, which is a little separate from the online lesson, but it's, hey, I'm going to look up, how to play this song, and then I'm going to follow the notes and play. One of my cousins learned a whole bunch of pieces on piano, doesn't know how to read music, and just looks and follows the fingers.
It's fascinating. You can learn how to do all kind of things just on, Google to me is like the ultimate Batcave computer. 50, 60 years ago when the TV show was on, ask it any question and give you an answer. Now it gives you a show you how. It's almost if you had an outline, you could coach yourself, but you'd have these drills you'd have to check off.
Yeah.
And it's a lot like anyone that wants to be a pro football player or go to college on football. You have to be, when you go there, they're gonna make you run a 50. They're gonna make you run 100.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna see how much you can bench press. These are the essentials.
And so when looking at all those classes, all those different ways to learn, I think it's important to weigh, which one's best, which one's more expensive, which one is right for you, because the answer to all those can be different. And usually the most expensive one is going to be a private teacher one-on-one in some form of capacity. It also probably has the highest level of success rate as far as if you're looking to become a concert pianist or get a piano scholarship or be
Yeah, but you're talking about a young musician at that point that's going to be singly focused on, I want to be a classical pianist because I'm going to be extremely famous and extremely rich. I doubt it, not as a classical pianist. It's very few rare, and it's a very competitive thing. But at the same time, I always think if you're learning this one instrument, look at other instruments and how those players that are really top in their class playing what they do. So a lot of guitar players, they take formal lessons, but they play in a country band, they play in a rock band, they play in a gospel group, they play every single chance they get with musicians all the time so that they're constantly saturated in music. Piano players can do the same thing. As you're learning, if you learn block chords and cadences, you sign up, say, hey, choir rehearsal pianist available, at a junior high school, or church. You're going to be inundated with people wanting to, hey, can you just play for me solo while I practice singing? There's more work out there for anyone that wants to learn all different kinds of music. That is part of learning the piano. Even if you're a 50-50 pianist and you don't even know how to read, but if you can play with a lot of different musicians and offer them whatever they're looking for, that makes you great.
Yeah, embrace the opportunities that come up
every single one of them.
And make sure that you are, part of the community of music, because a lot of times that can help you in the journey of learning piano. So another question that we get from people trying to search out how do I learn piano is how many lessons am I going to need before I can play?
How long does it take to get good?
Yeah.
It's like, anyone will tell you expert level is that you have 10,000 hours invested. That's not necessarily true on piano. You can get by learning a 3-chord wonder song. Say, for example, is your goal to sit down and impress people at a party or anything by playing Great Balls of Fire? Because I hope it is. That's the easiest thing to teach you on the fly. And if it's in a month and you put in 2-3 hours a day, you'll be more than perfect on playing that song in a month from now.
Okay.
But you got to dedicate your time and attention to it, and then you're going to have to work on your vocals because that's part of covering up a lot of your piano. Most of the song is just doon, 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 but you're singing, so you're going to have to work on that singing too.
Yeah, no, and again, it's how much effort and time you're willing to put into it. And we've seen kids come back a month later after having a piano and they're playing full both hands.
Oh, for fun. I've coached people. I would go, well, I'm going to a party. I'll show you how it goes. Go like this. We'll meet next week. You come back in. What do I do next? I said, can you really keep doing this and look at me and maybe have a conversation or listen to me without losing rhythm? I'm not asking you to talk. Just keep going. And so they work at it.
Yeah. And so I think it's the different classes that are available, the pricing structure, we're looking at a more expensive for a private teacher or tutor. Class lessons are usually going to be a little bit more expensive than online lessons. And then there's the free method of kind of learning by yourself on YouTube. And just knowing either if you're the learner, if you're trying to learn for yourself, or if it's for your kids, being aware of what is resonating. Don't force yourself or force someone else. If it's really against the grain, there's probably something that's not clicking. And if you're getting a lot of pushback either from yourself and saying, man, I really don't want to practice today, you might be approaching it wrong.
Well, I do have one
Yeah.
other idea about lessons, and this is the one thing that I've noticed just in the time when I first came to work here 25 years ago. I came up with that concept of just be a coach to people that come in, right? Piano coach. And now, you've seen this in the store, the mom will come in with anywhere from a 10 to a 16-year-old go, isn't he wonderful? He's self-taught. And you're thinking, yeah, he could use some lessons because he's missing the whole concept on a lot of things. And so that's the one way to run someone out of the store. Hey, I think you could use some lessons. That's when they stop playing. So we don't do that. I mean, the idea is that there probably is a future job out there for someone called like, I'm a coach. I'm not going to teach you directly, but I'm going to give you guidance through the internet and through exercises and things to do. Instead of $50 a lesson every week, and where you got to practice and routine, that requires a commitment from people. And people are afraid to make that commitment. I want to learn on my own time. I don't want to be pressured like a nag. Because I mean, you need a piano nag? Hell, I can do that. Sign me up. I'll tell you to do it 50 times so you get it done half. The other thing is that if the guy says, look, I'm just going to look at what you're doing, and you pay me X amount a month, and you're going to get about an hour or so of my time that whole month. Maybe split up with text, with invoices, with a Zoom, a quick question, I demo something for you. Just do it with like videos.
I think you're getting.
And so you're just guiding you're giving them an outline. Don't just sit there and invent your own songs, okay? Practice some scales, learn some arpeggios. Then your songs will get better as you incorporate those.
It's basically a mentorship or
it's coaching. That's all it really is.
And so I think you said an important word there, and we'll wrap it up with this. I think, how do I learn piano? Do I need piano lessons? I think, how do I learn piano? The answer is commitment. And that means different things to different people. But if you are willing to make a commitment, whether that means financially or with your time or with your, whatever resources that you
More time than money.
More time than money, exactly. You're going to have to invest more time. You can buy the most expensive instrument. You can pay for the most expensive teacher in town. It doesn't matter if you won't spend the time as well.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's really important to remember the commitment is to yourself and it's to your goal, whatever your goal is going to be in learning the instrument. And then you can do that, and that's how you learn to play piano. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave comments if you have any more insight about piano lessons. If you've learned a really cool way that we didn't cover, we'd love to hear about it. But please leave comments. Let us know what you guys think. Again, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to see more great content from Ted and I, and maybe see some piano coaching from Ted here in the future. That is something that we will be creating as well. I think that's a cool.
We're supposed to be making those other kind of media 30, 20-second
We'll have piano coaching on our social media, so make sure you follow us there as well. But thank you guys for watching. Again, make sure you're subscribed and leave us some comments to discuss piano lessons. Thanks for watching.